Good day, ladies and gentlemen, I just read City of Secrets by Nick Horth, and even though it has some obvious flaws, I actually found it very entertaining. Now the story really isn't the most complicated. Callus's squad of free guilders is killed during a patrol, and he is the only survivor. The enemy Cabal pins their deaths on him, and he becomes a fugitive. Witch Hunter Toll then shows up, and basically offers him a chance for revenge as they set out to stop the evil Zinchian Cabal in Excelsis. Of course, then if you want to know how that ends, you'll have to read it yourself. The biggest highlight of this novel is probably how fast-paced it is. There's enough story for a novel-length book, but with barely over 150 pages, the plot really moves at a breakneck speed. Now that normally wouldn't necessarily be a good thing, but with the way Horth has written the novel, it somehow works. Horth has managed to put just enough words into world building and characterization to make them interesting. But since the story never lingers, the flaws and shortcomings of the story aren't really bothersome. The bad guys, for an example, are as boring and stereotypical as they can be, yet the fact that Horth has given both protagonists a personal reason to hate them, combined with the fact that we don't really spend much time on them anyways, makes it so that this never really feels that way when you're reading the book. It was only really after finishing City of Secrets when I started to write this review that I realized how simple and basic many aspects of this book are. The novel just does a great job at focusing on the important and interesting parts that are needed for the story. Yeah, it is a peculiar style of writing, but it works, especially for such a high-action witch hunter tale. Another peculiar aspect of the writing style is the word choice. Many Black Library books have a shared way of describing things, and many authors go even further in this by basically spamming the same descriptions over and over again. To prove the point, I think we all know what I'm talking about when I bring up things like wet leopards or incandescence. Nick Horth, however, seems to be dead set on going through the entire thesaurus with this novel. Descriptions are very frequently different from what you would expect, and rarely are the same terms used multiple times. On one hand, this felt a bit pretentious at times, and it didn't always work out. I mean, this is no Fiervari level for sure, but on the other hand, it did prevent me from getting bored during descriptive parts, especially during combat scenes. Another highlight is simply how badass Toll and the Knights Excelsior are. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that? The Age of Sigmar world leaders are also in this book. Quite some time is spent building them up as these monstrous reapers that are almost more feared than the things that they are supposed to protect the people from. So then when we finally meet them, they truly are scary as hell, especially the Stormcast Psykers are absolutely terrifying. Toll meanwhile just has the perfect blend of Eisenhorn-like authority, witty remarks and combat skills to be awesome. His dynamic with Callus too just kinda clicks. Neither of them are very interesting, but it's like Godric and Felix. It works well together and it's good enough for the story. So while it may seem a bit of a high rating, I will actually give this one 4 to 5 bird boys. City of Secrets is an extremely pulpy witch hunter testosterone banger. There is very little complexity, the plot isn't particularly inventive, and the bad guys are very forgettable. Yet the extreme focus, low page count, interesting wording, and cool world building make it a very enjoyable ride. For those of you who have seen the menu, this is a cheeseburger. And on that bombshell, I'm ending the review.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing and click ringing the bell to appease the Great Horned Rat. For more lore content, please check my main channel and leave any book recommendations in the comments down below. I gotta get back to reading the next book.